Before today's video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest videos. If you want to see a case or topic covered by Paranormally Listed, then go to criminallylisted.com and fill out the questionnaire under the Suggest a Case tab. Number 3. Nahuelito. In the vast forested lake district of northern Patagonia in Argentina lies Lake Nahuel Huapi. The alpine lake of glacial origin, deep and expansive, its water stretching across the Andean foothills beneath snow-clad peaks. It lies partly within the vast expanse of the Nahuel Huapi National Park, Argentina's oldest national park, first designated in 1934. The lake's shoreline bears islands, peninsulas, deep coves, and arms. Complex terrain carved by ancient glaciers and later shaped by moraines and fault lines. It was in these mysterious, quiet depths that locals, travelers, and even scientists began to speak of a creature of the deep, a lake monster, which came to be called Nahuelito. The legend is not recent. Indigenous stories, colonial reports, and modern sightings all feed into its lore. In the summer, when the lake is calm or when the wind dies in some sheltered bay, locals claim to see dark humps move beneath the water. Some describe it as a serpentine neck raising like a swan's, then dipping again. Others claim they saw a long, undulating body or twin humps breaking the surface. One 1910 account by a man named George Garrett described a creature that was 5 to 7 meters visible above the water, protruding some 2 meters from a vantage point roughly 400 meters away. Over decades, the creature's reports grew. Some described it as a giant water snake with humps and fish-like fins. Others likened it to a swan-neck creature with a small head and long body. The range of the supported lengths was wide, from 10 meters to as much as 45 meters in some retellings. In one of the most cited early investigations, around 1922, Clement O'Neely took an interest and sponsored expeditions to seek evidence of the creature. Some modern sightings claim clear photographs or videos, though none have been accepted by mainstream science as proof of an unknown creature in the lake. From a scientific point of view, claims persist but remain unconfirmed. No specimen has ever been captured, and no indisputable photograph exists. There has never been a peer-reviewed zoological paper that has confirmed a new, large aquatic animal in the lake. The lake is large, but still a relatively enclosed basin. Many experts ask, what would sustain a large predator or large reptile in those waters, especially when the lake's ecosystem has known trout, cold alpine condition, and seasonal fluctuations? Yet the legend refuses to vanish and now has been woven into the region's character. In this Patagonian basin, the name Nahuelito invokes respect for nature's mystery, for landscapes remote and wild, for the unanswered question in deep, cold water. While the creature may or may not swim beneath the waves of Lake Nahuel Huapi, the legend is real. Number 2. Selma. In Norway's Telemark region, the long, narrow glacial lake known as Lake Seljord lies sheltered among the wooded hills and quiet shores. The water of the lake stretches for roughly 13 to 15 kilometers and in places reaches significant depth. For generations, locals have told of a creature living in those deep waters, a serpent-like beast known by the name Selma. It is said that the first known written account of Selma comes from the year 1750. On that day, a man from the nearby parish of Bow was rowing across the lake from Ylvanes to Ness. According to the report, his boat was surrounded by moving mass in the water, which caused alarm. From then on, stories grew. In 1786, a priest, Hans Jacob Wiley, wrote of a strange creature in his book, Descriptions of Seljord's Priesthood in Upper Telemark. He described the being as moving underwater like an eel, wrapping around a man who had been carrying a barrow across Laxal River. Many accounts describe Selma as having a long, snake-like body, sometimes with a head likened to a horse or a moose, or with a mane. Some said it had humps, or that it appeared on quiet, hot summer days when the lake surface was still. For the people of Seljord, the legend has become part of the town's identity. In 1989, the municipality adopted a coat of arms showing a gold-colored sea serpent on red background, symbolizing Selma. Over the years, dozens, perhaps even hundreds of claimed observations of the creature were made, though none have produced definitive proof. One source mentions more than 100 sightings. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, cryptozoologists attempted to document the creature more rigorously. For example, Swedish cryptozoologist Jan-Ove Sundberg and his organization worked in the lake using sonar and other devices, but without obtaining questionable evidence. Despite the lack of scientific confirmation, the legend has persisted and the community embraced it. Today, visitors to the lake can climb a 17-meter high sea serpent tower on the lakeshore to scan the water. On a calm summer morning, one might walk to the Lake Seljord and imagine the creature just beneath the surface. The scientists in the 1990s found pings and shadows on sonar, yet these were never confirmed as living beings. The size and food supply of the lake raised doubts. How could a large serpent survive in such a body of water? Some scientists assert that the lake is simply too small to support a creature of the size reported. Yet the legend remains, whether real or myth. While the historical accounts of Selma began in the mid-18th century and continue through anecdotal reports to the present, no specimen, no clear photograph, no scientifically verified trace has yet settled the question of what lies in Lake Seljord. It places Selma at the meeting point of folklore, nature, curiosity, and the unknown. In the end, Selma remains both imagined and anchored in local identity, a serpent in the lake, a symbol on the coat of arms, a tale to tell children and visitors alike. Whether she swims in the cold depths of the Seljord Vatnet may be unknown, but the legend remains very much alive. Number 1. Ogopogo. In the waters of the Okanagan Lake, British Columbia, the legend of Ogopogo is known to residents and tourists alike. Known to the region's First Nations, the Syilx Okinawan Nation, as Nakatik, meaning lake spirit or water demon, the creature has since been woven into regional folklore, tourism, and popular culture. Okinawan Lake stretches about 135 kilometers in length and in places reaches depths exceeding 200 meters. The valley in which it sits was carved by glaciers, and the lake basin was formed after meltwaters filled the depression some 10,000 years ago. Its shores are framed by forested hills in the communities of Kelowna, Vernon, Picton, and others, stretching along the Okinawan Valley. Into these deep waters, stories of Ogopogo are created. The size, depth, and relatively isolated character of the basin provide the kind of setting in which legends can grow. Long before settlers arrived, the Syilx Okanagan Nation told the Nakatik residing in the lake. In those traditions, the spirit was neither simply an animal nor a monster. It held power over waters, and safe passage required respect. Some accounts say that travelers offered small animals before crossing to appease the Nahatik. One folkloric version says that the creature began as a man, Kionwan, who murdered an old man and was transformed into a lake serpent, sentenced to live in the waters forever. In any case, the indigenous stories are of sacred waters and a spirit to be heeded, not simply a cryptid to be hunted. The name Ogopogo emerged later. Around the 1920s, a music hall song became popular in British Columbia, calling him Ogopogo. The name stuck in the public imagination, replacing or at least overlaying the older indigenous name. Today, the creature is often referenced by both names. By the late 20th century, the creature had become a regional mascot, featuring merchandise, tourism, promotions, and even a submerged statue in the lake. The modern legend of Ogopogo is built on dozens of reported sightings. Most describe a serpentine, dark-colored creature rising from the lake in a series of humps, a body many meters long, sometimes described with a horse-like head or horns. One of the earliest non-indigenous encounters dates back to around 1872, when settler Susan Allison reported seeing something large and moving in the lake. In August 1968, a tourist named Arthur Folden captured approximately 60 seconds of home movie footage of something large and lifelike moving in the lake near Peachland. In 1926, a newspaper reported that people in 30 vehicles parked at the Okinawan Mission Beach observed a long, dark creature with multiple humps moving steadily across the surface. While these reports are intriguing, none have produced undisputed proof. A 1991 expedition using remote-operated vehicles and mini-submarines explored the lake bottom, but found no evidence of a large creature. Scientists and skeptics offer alternative explanations for the sightings, like floating logs or timber wakes. Okinawan Lake has a history of timber industry use, and logs can look serpentine when floating in a row. Another theory is seishes and internal waves. In calm weather, layers of water of different densities can slide under one another, producing unusual surface waves that may resemble humps. Groups of otters or large animals can be misidentified when they travel together in groups. Despite these explanations, the legend persists. Part of its power is that it merges spiritual tradition, natural mystery, and human fascination with the unknown. In the valley of communities of Okinawan, the legend of Ogopogo is part of the identity. Tourists book boat trips just to glance at the lake and imagine the humps. A statue of Ogopogo lies 30 feet beneath the surface at Paul's Tomb in Knox Mountain Park. In 2021, the legal rights to the name Ogopogo were transferred to the Okinawan Nation Alliance, underscoring the importance of the indigenous heritage behind the legend. No scientific explanation has confirmed that a large unknown reptile or serpent dwells in the lake. However, the absence of proof does not entirely erase the possibility, especially in a lake so deep, so steep in places, with enough dim corners for imagination to wander. Some skeptics say the physics simply don't support a creature of the size claimed. Others argue that human memory and perception are unreliable, especially when an image of a lake monster already haunts the mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. If you did find it interesting, please make sure you subscribe. We'll have a new video about the paranormal every week. If you just discovered this channel, please make sure you check out our other channel, Criminally Listed. We have over 325 videos featuring bizarre but true crime stories. You can find it at youtube.com/criminallylisted. Well, that's all for today. Thanks again for watching.